to all the spooks out there. Welcome back to another episode of Spine Chilling Chats, where every Wednesday we dig up the darkest corners of true crime, history, folklore, and the supernatural. I'm Ange.
And I'm Amanda.
And tonight, I'm dragging you all with me into the wild, weird, and very creepy corners of Colorado. Now, sure, Colorado's got the Rockies, skiing, and some pretty stunning views.
And aliens.
And aliens, if you watched last week.
Mm-hmm.
But it also has more cryptids than I was ready for.
Ooh.
We're talking about the classics like Bigfoot, because obviously he had to make an appearance here. But then there's the slide rock bolter, who basically makes boulders even scarier. We'll creep into the tail of the Tailypo, tunnel underground to meet the mysterious Augerino, and see what the Tommyknockers are really up to.
I heard about those.
Yeah,
I've
and the-
heard like
in the
it's a
dark
movie.
mines.
from Tommyknockers.
I haven't seen the movie.
I'm pretty sure. Got service. I'm gonna look it up real quick.
Oh, and let's not forget those pesky flesh pedestrians. Yeah, you heard me. And if that's not enough nightmare fuel, I'll introduce you to the Vampire of Lafayette.
Stephen King, the
Oh,
Tommyknockers.
okay. I'll have to watch that.
Yeah,
I've
seen it before, and then it's been a really long time. But yeah, by Stephen King, so you know it's good.
Yeah. So buckle up, keep your flashlights handy, and don't plan a camping trip in Colorado after this episode.
Unless you're going to the tower to look for aliens, because that seems kind of safe.
Kind of fun. Yeah, we'll see. You'll see why. Okay, spooky friends, let's talk about one of the strangest cryptids Colorado claims. Something the old lumberjacks used to whisper about back in the 1800s. They called it the slide rock bolter. Now picture this. A creature so massive it only lives on the steepest mountainsides, slopes that drop at more than a 45-degree angle. It's described as having a huge head, tiny little eyes, and a gaping mouth like a fish. And get this, the tail doesn't just end normally. Nope. It's got ends like a giant dolphin with huge hooks, perfect for latching onto the top of the ridge. Now, doesn't that sound like a weird ass creature?
Yeah, like little bitty eyes, dolphin like tail,
And a mouth like a fish.
mouth like a fish.
The bolter is...
No, wait. Can I ask something? Why is it? I'm sure you're going to get into this, but why is it called the bolter when it's a rock? Why wouldn't it be boulder?
I don't know.
You know what I mean? Does it say that in there? Why they call it the bolter?
I don't think so.
Okay. I was just curious. 'Cause it would just make sense if it's called the slide rock boulder instead of bolter.
I don't think so.
Okay.
The bolter is said to hang there for days, just waiting, watching. When it spots unlucky hikers or even a whole group of tourists below, it lets go. Gravity does the rest, sending this thing barreling down. Maybe that they're considering that bolting.
Well, maybe. Yeah.
Barreling down the mountain. And as it slides, it oozes greasy slime from its mouth to make sure it picks up even more speed. Anything in its path gets scooped straight up into its jaws. People, trees, animals, entire parties gone. Then the force of the slide launches it up the opposite slope, where it hooks its tail into the next ridge and waits to do it all over again. The story of the slide rock bolter comes to us thanks to William Thomas Cox, Minnesota's state forester. In 1910, which you're saying, okay, Minnesota, but he was just a forester there. So it's been seen, or it supposedly
Maybe
went to Colorado. Yeah. In 1910, he published a tongue in cheek collection called Fearsome Critters of the Lumberwoods, with a few desert and mountain beasts. This book gathered the tall tales lumberjacks told late at night in their lodging camps. And Cox teamed up with forester Coert de Bois, or de Bois,
I say Du Bois.
de Bois, for illustrations, along with botanist George Bishop Sudworth, who added fake Latin names for the critters, giving the whole thing the feel of a parody field guide. Of the slide rock bolter, Cox wrote, "In the mountains of Colorado, where in summer the woods are becoming infested with tourists, much uneasiness has been caused by the presence of the slide rock bolter. The frightful animal lives only in the steepest mountain country where the slopes are greater than 45 degrees. It has an immense head with small eyes and a mouth somewhat on the order of a sculpin, running back beyond its ears. The tail consists of a divided flipper with enormous grab hooks which it fastens over the crest of the mountain or ridge, often remaining there motionless for days at a time, watching the gulch for tourists or any other hapless creature that may enter it. At the right moment, after sighting a tourist, it will lift its tail, thus loosening its hold on the mountain, and with its small eyes riveted on the poor unfortunate, and drooling thin skid grease from the corners of its mouth, which greatly accelerates its speed, the bolter comes down like a toboggan, scooping in its victim as it goes, its own impetus carrying it up the next slope, where it again slaps its tail over the ridge and waits."
You just imagine.
Thinking like one of those, what are those called?
Oh, grappler hooks?
Grappler hooks, yeah. Kind of like that. Whole parties of tourists are reported to have been gulped at one scoop by taking parties far back into its hills. The animal is a menace not only to tourists, but to the woods as well. Many a draw through spruce covered slopes have been laid low, the trees being knocked out by the roots or mowed off as by a scythe, where the bolter has crashed down through from the peaks above. There's even an old tale about a ranger near Lizard Head who was so fed up with the slide rock bolter's destruction that he set a trap. He dressed up a dummy tourist, complete with plaid jacket, guidebook, and knee breeches, but filled it with explosives. The bolter fell for it, rushed down the mountain, and boom, the explosion took the creature out and supposedly even leveled half the town of Rico in the process. Locals said buzzards feasted on the remains all summer.
Okay. Really, though?
That would be in the news.
Right. Not only that, but like, why would you care? Not care. People care about people. Why would you care if he was taking out tourists? He was taking out maybe 3, 4 tourists at a time. You just leveled half of the fucking city. Like, come on.
Yeah. And of course, modern retellings have made the bolter even creepier. An enormous landfish monster weighing over 25,000 pounds with razor tooth gizzards. Basically, if this thing were real, Colorado's ski resorts would have way bigger problems than lift lines.
I agree.
This version of the Tailypo legend was shared by a 19-year-old college student from Colorado Springs. Growing up around the forests and trails of Colorado, she explained that local folklore includes plenty of strange cryptids and campfire monsters. But Tailypo is one of the spookiest. She described it as a tale people tell when camping, especially at night, and noted that the story is meant to be flexible. Storytellers are encouraged to add new details or stretch out the suspense, making it last as long as possible to build tension and keep the audience hooked. So this is her version.
Okay.
This guy is living in a cabin and he has 2 dogs. He lives in the middle of nowhere. There's no cars, no grocery stores. It's old times. So he goes hunting in the dead of winter. He's walking for hours and sees nothing. No animals, and he thinks it's so strange. The woods are eerily quiet. He comes back and he goes to bed hungry, and so does his dogs. Next day, he goes out and looks for food again, and it's eerily quiet. Not even wind in the trees, just nothing. It doesn't feel real. No food, no rabbits, no deers, no plants, just snow and white and quiet. His dogs and him go to bed hungry. Next day, he goes out. He's exhausted. He hasn't had food in him. His dogs are exhausted. He's been walking for miles and miles. He's lost and worn out. He sees a flash of black and he's like, "What was that?" He sees the flash of black again and he shoots it. All he gets is this little tuft of meat that fell off. It seemed like it was cut off from the creature he shot. It seems like his tail. So he takes the tail and carries it back to his cabin. It's not a lot of meat, but it's all he has. So he fixes it up, cleans off the skin, and he cooks it up. And he gives the leftovers to his dogs. He goes to bed full, wakes up in the morning, and goes hunting again. Suddenly, it seems like the woods are alive again. He's finding food, he's finding rabbits, and there's some spring green poking through the snow. So he comes back with a good collection of food. He goes home, but as it gets dark, it starts to get cold and eerie again. He starts to hear this voice from outside and some creaking on the roof. It goes, "Tailypo, Tailypo." He's like, "Is this the wind?" Because, you hear the wind go tally-po all the time.
All the time. Every
Yeah,
night at my house.
absolutely. What noise am I hearing? He hears it again. Tally-po, Tally-po. He looks outside and sees nothing. It's not windy out. So he closes the door and locks it because he's getting freaked out.
Mhm.
Because why wasn't his door already
Shut and
shut?
locked.
Yeah, like it's winter, dude.
Right.
He gets under the covers and he hears the voice all night, but he tries to sleep. He wakes up in the morning, goes hunting again, and gets a good amount of food. He's got plenty of rabbits. He shot a buck. He goes home, cooks up his dinner. When it gets dark out again, he hears the voice again. Tally-po. He checks outside. There are no branches scratching against his window, because again, that sounds like Tally-po. There's nothing on the roof, even though there's incessant creaking. He closes and locks the door, but then he looks back at it, and the door is cracked open. He hears it again. Tally-po, Tally-po. He goes to bed even though he hears it all through the night. Next morning, he takes his dogs out on a walk, goes fishing. He comes home and he cooks up the fish and feeds it to his dogs. Then he noticed his dogs start barking at the door. Woof, woof. So he lets them out, thinks maybe they have to pee, and the dogs start running. He calls them back, and they're very well trained dogs, but only one comes back.
I wish our dogs were well
Oh,
trained.
mine's a horrible
Ah,
dog.
Winston is
Yeah,
out of control.
yeah. Sahara too. He wonders what happened to the other, but he knows his dogs don't run away, so he figures the other dog will be back in the morning. So he closes the door, brings the one dog inside. It's too dark and cold to look for the other one, even though he's very worried.
So you just leave your dog out in the cold snow?
Well, it ran off.
I know, but
I'd be like, fuck you, Sahara. Spend the night in the cold.
Winston's a winter dog, so I wouldn't.
Uh,
Yeah, he would be fine.
he starts to hear it again. Tally-po, Tally-po. I know you have my Tally-po. Now, this part is new. He hears the creaking on the roof, wakes up in the morning, spends the whole day looking for his dog. Boy, come here, come here. He comes back to his cabin after looking for his dog and sees his dog's tail on the ground outside the cabin. He goes back inside and the other dog starts barking at the door again. He lets his dog out and the dog runs away. He's now alone. He's lost his two best hunting dogs. He closes the door, locks it. He's freaked out and staring at the wall. The door slowly opens and he sees a black figure run towards him. He feels this pressure on his chest. He hears, Tailypo, Tailypo, I'll finally have my Tailypo. And then he dies. The end. So when you're calving and you hear the wind say Tailypo, that means that Tailypo is still looking for his tail and he might get you.
Eh. But I, you sure it's Tailypo and not Tailypo because he's looking for his tail? I just realized that's what it said. And he's looking for his tail.
I gotta read the whole fucking thing. Tailypo?
No, I'll just leave it.
Tailypo.
Tailypo. Tailypo.
Taily. I don't even know if I could say Tailypo.
Tailypo. Just leave it. Fuck it.
Fuck it.
Fuck it.
Fuck it. That's our motto for
That's our motto for today.
yeah. All right. Tailypo, whatever you want.
When you said he's looking for his tail, I thought, oh, shit. Is it Tailypo? Oh, well. I don't know. That was all right.
Tailypo. The Tailypo is an example of a cryptid story that blends fear of the wilderness with oral tradition. He's portrayed as a restless creature still searching for his missing tail, stalking people in lonely cabins or deep in the woods. Stories like this often come from anxieties about the untamed wild, the darkness, isolation, and the unknown dangers that lurk there. The way the story is told is just as important as the content itself. Repetition, drawn out phrases like Tailypo, and the inclusion of sound effects like barking and creaking create a rhythm that helps performers extend the tale and heighten fear. This ties into the oral formulaic theory, which explains how storytellers can recall long narratives and adapt them in performance by using repeated phrases and familiar patterns. Ultimately, the Tailypo legend works much like a scary movie. It lets people experience fear in a safe, controlled way, huddled around a fire with friends. Whether or not listeners believe the cryptid is real, the story lingers in the imagination, especially the next time the wind howls through the trees. So, after hearing about the Tailypo creeping through the woods, maybe you're thinking, okay, I'll just stick to open spaces then. No dark forest, no problem. But Colorado's got you covered there too, because the danger isn't just in the trees. Some of the strangest legends come from underground. See, deep beneath the soil and out in those dry stretches of land, people started telling stories about a creature that didn't howl in the night or stalk your cabin. It destroyed the very ground you depend on.
You know what that reminds me of?
Tremors?
Yeah.
Yeah, duh. Who wouldn't think tremors?
And just like the movie, I'm going to say your line. It's not something you can chase off with dogs or a rifle. So I'm just saying, Tremors could be based on a true story.
Could be. Could be.
True story-ish.
Yeah.
All right.
People started telling stories about it. This was the Augerino, a corkscrew-shaped beast said to burrow through the earth itself, draining dams and ditches dry. And trust me, if the Tailypo didn't keep you awake, the thought of an indestructible worm twisting just below your feet might do the trick.
I'd say
Yeah.
so.
The Augerino is one of those strange creatures whispered about in the old lumberjack and ranching communities of the American West, especially out in the dry parts of Colorado. According to legend, it was a burrowing beast that could only survive in arid conditions. To keep itself comfortable, it supposedly bored through dams and irrigation ditches, draining away precious water. Depending on who you asked, the Augerino might look like a giant worm, though folks never agreed on its exact appearance. Even its name comes from the word auger, that spiral shaped hand tool they use for drilling
Hmm.
or like to clear out your drains.
Yeah.
Back in 1941, researchers digging into local folklore around Middle Park, Colorado, came across stories describing the Augerino as an enormous corkscrew shaped worm that was practically indestructible. People said it lined its tunnels with a silica coating so they wouldn't cave in. And while many knew it as just a tale, some ranchers half joked it might be real. Hell, the ditches still leak, don't they? One reportedly said. Folklorist Ronald L. Ives, who collected these stories, suggested that belief in the Augerino may have been fueled by paleontological finds.
That's a mouthful.
Paleontological finds. Certain fossils, like those of the snail Laxaspira, were twisted in shape and earned nicknames like Devil's Corkscrew or even fossil Augerinos. Ives himself was so intrigued by the legend that he wrote a fictional short story about the creature in 1938. Decades later, in 2008, scientists honored the folklore when they named a newly discovered helical fossil from New Mexico, Augerinococcus hel- heliocoidales. Alice. Yeah, look it up.
Yeah. You know exactly what we're saying.
Yeah. A nod to the myth of the Augerino. After thinking about the Augerino twisting its way underground and draining ditches from underneath you, maybe you're starting to feel a little uneasy about what's below the surface. The Colorado's legends don't just haunt the dirt and rocks, they also echo through the tunnels and shafts dug by miners chasing gold and silver. Deep in those mines, far from the sunlight and open air, another kind of trickster was said to roam, the Tommyknocker. Tiny, mysterious, and sometimes helpful, sometimes mischievous. Do you say mischievous or do you say mischievous?
Mischievous. But now that you say that, something unrelated. Do you s- do you say aluminum?
Yes.
Okay.
Not
Aluminium.
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 That's other countries.
I know. And I say aluminum, but I catch myself once in a while saying aluminium. And they're looking at me and I'm like, this is a fucking joke. Never mind. Don't pay attention to me. But I say mischievous. I say mischievous.
Yeah, I usually say mischievous too, but then like I've heard it so many times being mischievous
Mischievous.
that I doubt myself. So sometimes I'll say mischievous because I don't want to sound wrong,
Right. Yeah.
but I don't know which is the correct way.
I I say we say how we've always said it.
Yeah,
Mischievous.
mischievous. It might be a Midwestern thing,
And it could be, and they might say mischievous like over in Europe.
or even just other parts of the U.S.
Could be.
because we say shit different.
Then
My
we do with
husband
it.
says cauliflower instead of cauliflower.
I say cauliflower.
Yeah. But
He says
he's
cauliflower.
yeah, but he's from Virginia. So maybe they say shit different. And he says um crown instead of crayons.
Oh, I thought you were trying to say crown.
No, he says crown.
Oh, okay.
Like crayon, but fast like crown.
Yeah. Is it
And
crayon
it
or
and it
crayon?
and it sounds like he's saying crown. But I say crayon, like CRAN, which I know isn't right,
Right.
but
I say
that's
crayon,
I say crayon. That's
but isn't
how
it crayon? Is it crayon?
crayon.
Oh.
Anywho, that doesn't matter.
Anyway, just words
Sorry.
we say. Words are hard, yo.
Tiny, mysterious, and somewhat helpful, sometimes mischievous. These little underground spirits became a part of the folklore of Colorado's mining communities. And unlike the Augerino, which might silently ruin a dam, the Tommyknockers made their presence known with the unmistakable tap tap of their knocks on the walls. When miners came to Colorado during the gold and silver rushes, they didn't just bring their tools, they also carried their folklore. Among the tales that crossed the ocean from Welsh and Cornish immigrants was the legend of the Tommyknockers. These small, mysterious figures were said to dwell deep in the mines, knocking on the walls. Sometimes the knocking was taken as a warning of cave ins or dangerous shifts
So
in the
they're just
rock.
looking out for you.
Other times it was thought to guide lucky miners toward rich veins of gold or silver.
Again, looking out for
Helpful.
you.
But just like many trickster spirits, Tommyknockers weren't always helpful. They were notorious for snuffing out lamps, which would be terrifying.
In a mine?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Stealing food or tools. Again, that would really suck. And generally making life harder underground.
As
Where,
if life isn't hard enough.
yeah, and dangerous enough. That's one thing I would never do.
What?
I would never go like splunking or
Oh, yeah.
cave. Like, I'll do a cave if it's got, like, the nice little tourist path. I would never go adventuring in a cave, like, how people do on their own.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
no way. There's been too many people that have got stuck, got crushed, got lost. No way.
Nope.
Not me.
Nope. Just
But
like that movie 127 Hours. Have you seen that? Where
uh-uh.
he gets stuck in the rock and he has cut his own arm off?
No, I would never. I'd just die there. There's no way I could cut off my own arm.
Yeah.
Mm-mm, not
I like to
happening.
sleep.
Uh-uh.
I know, because I had it crossed for too long.
Plus, I'm a big girl and I don't wanna get stuck anywhere.
Heck no.
I mean, some of those places they crawl into, like, it's just wide enough for your shoulders to fit. Like, mm-mm.
And you got to go in head first. So if you get stuck, how you getting out?
Yeah, you're not.
No.
You gotta hope that somebody is behind you and can call and help and
Pull
no,
you out by your legs. No,
not
thank you.
happening.
Nope.
In Colorado, where mining towns were springing up seemingly overnight, miners respected the knockers enough to leave offerings, like a piece of their pasty or meal, hoping what?
Pasty.
Pasty.
I think of nipple
Oh,
pasties.
hey, the
What's up?
Tommyknockers. Or meal, hoping to stay in their good graces. Which that would work if you gave me a little Tommyknocker,
Give me,
you'd be in my good grace.
show me them Tommyknockers.
The belief grew so strong that even non Cornish miners began to accept the knockers as part of life in the mines. Crews would sometimes refuse to work a new shaft until they were sure the Tommyknockers were already there.
Why?
I don't know.
Don't you want them not there?
You would think.
Or maybe they meant already there and moved on to the next one.
Oh, maybe. The idea wasn't just some passing superstition, it lasted well into the 20th century. One famous story tells of a mine that shut down in the 1950s. Before sealing the entrance, local descendants of those early miners actually petitioned for the knockers to be set free so they could move on to the other tunnels.
So maybe that's what they meant.
And the legend hasn't gone away. In fact, if you've ever driven through Idaho Springs, Colorado, you might have spotted the Tommyknocker Brewery, which probably borrows its name from the little spirits of the mines. Let's take a moment to talk about one of the most chilling legends from the Four Corners region of Colorado, the flesh pedestrians.
The flesh pedestrian.
Now, this isn't your typical forest cryptid. These creatures were once human, but through dark rituals and deliberate acts of evil, they became something far more sinister. Legend says that to become a flesh pedestrian, a person must first want it and then commit terrible deeds.
Oh.
Some stories say that performing witchcraft in Anasazi ruins or ancient burial grounds can grant someone unimaginable powers if done correctly. Another version warns that even a priest or medicine man could turn into one by committing murder or other serious offenses, after which they would be banished from their community, doomed to a life of darkness. And here's the really creepy part: flesh pedestrians are shapeshifters. They can move between human and animal forms at will. In human form, their eyes might look disturbingly animalistic. In animal form, their eyes might seem almost human. It's this duality that makes them so unsettling.
Mm-mm. Have
Ac-
you ever seen an animal that has human eyes, like
Mm-mm.
human looking eyes?
No.
Yeah, it's fucking creepy.
You've seen one?
Like, it's just the way that they look. Um, they just look like they have human eyes, and I'm just like, oh God, yeah, I've seen like a dog before that just looking at you, and it's like,
Like there's more than just a dog's mind
yes,
there.
yes,
There's some sort of intelligence.
something's there for sure.
Across Colorado, Utah, and Arizona, there are countless reports of these creatures causing havoc. Cars chased at insane speeds, livestock terrorized by unnatural laughter, even entire families being attacked while they sleep. People say they've seen animals with glowing human like eyes or humans with the same eerie animal like gaze. And there's one rule you absolutely, absolutely don't break: you never say the name of a flesh pedestrian aloud. Speaking it is believed to draw their attention, and no one wants that. So if you've been wondering what a flesh pedestrian is, know the first word starts with an S and the second word starts with a W.
Oh, here we go.
Hey,
I'm just saying.
hey,
One of the kids at school said that the other day.
you're not supposed to say it.
I was like, Ange would not be happy with you right
No,
now.
no. And on my Spooky Girls, Two Girls, One Ghost. If you don't listen to their podcast, you should. They're great. I love them. They actually had somebody send in a picture of one that they caught on their like hunting cam in the forest, and it appears to be a human wearing it kind of looks like shorts,
Okay.
but it kind of looks like it's fur, and the knees are bent weird, like an animal.
So, you know how you feel about ghosts? That's how I feel about them.
Really?
Yes.
And I feel like that could be possible.
See, I just don't.
I am more likely to believe in a cryptid than a ghost.
I just don't get, I just don't. Well, that's like that show. Should I say it?
What show?
Skinwalker Ranch?
I've not heard of it, but you shouldn't. Why are they naming the show that? So you have to say it when
I guess.
they're going to come after you. I didn't say it. I said flesh pedestrian, as is the rule.
Yeah, that's the name of the show.
Huh.
In Utah, known for its long history of paranormal and UFO related activities, including strange lights, animal mutilations, and encounters with the shape shifting creatures.
Huh.
But it's a show. Right here. Previously known as Sherman Ranch, is a property approximately 512 acres located southeast of Ballard, Utah, that was reputed to be the site of paranormal. But it's a show.
Okay. Huh. I've not heard of it, but I don't watch a lot of TV anyway, so. These stories have survived for generations, passed down in communities with strong Navajo presence. And Colorado native Adam James Jones has written extensively about flesh pedestrians and other Native American lore, diving deep into the terrifying details of these legends. And that's another reason why I won't say it, because I believe that the indigenous people, they know more than we do. They've been here
Oh.
longer. Their ancestors, they spoke um they spoke their history to one another.
Mhm.
So it's handed down and handed down.
Mhm.
So although they may not still exist in today's world, I believe that their legends came from some truth.
Okay.
May not be exact that,
Right. No, I
but
get it. I get
but
it.
it's just like any kind of pop culture, like vampires or whatever. Like there had to be some grain of truth behind it
Yeah,
for it to have formed.
and I get that. Yeah,
So
makes sense.
I'm a little bit more believing of indigenous folklore
Then
than ghosts.
yes. Yeah.
Although I'm sure they believe in spirits too, but I just have
Oh,
a
the
hard
Indian
I
and
just
the Native
have
American
such
people,
a hard time with the ghosts. I don't know
they
why.
believe in spirits. Remember, they used to get high on peyote and
Yeah,
call the spirits.
yeah. They would go on spirit guide
Mhm.
trips. Yeah.
Yep.
Uh, maybe I need to smoke some.
Maybe you need to smoke some peyote and go
Yeah,
out in the desert.
there we go. Except I'm white. I would burn. I would
And you
burn.
freeze at night,
I'd
so
burn so fast. Like, what's that tomato over there? Oh, it's Angela.
just Ange. No big deal. Just leave her alone. She's on peyote. She don't know what's going on yet.
Yeah. She'll be hurting tomorrow, though.
She'll wake up like, what the fuck's happening?
I've been there.
I remember seeing somebody talking to me from the sky
Not the
that
high, but
resembled a
the extremely burnt.
yeah, yeah.
Oh, man. So next time you're out in the desert or the forest at night, remember the darkness might be hiding more than you think. And whatever you do, keep your eyes open and your mouth shut. If they call your name, don't answer.
Mhm.
If you hear something, no, you don't. If you see something, no, you don't. Just like in the Appalachia.
Do you really say Appalachia?
I do now
Is
because
that how it's
it's
pronounced?
supposed to be Appalachia.
Ah,
Well, there's a difference. The southern part of Appalachia say Appalachia. The northern part says more Appalachian.
okay. I'm just curious.
But I believe the correct way is Appalachia. That's the majority.
I might get hate for this, but I just figured it was the southern redneck people just didn't know how to say it, so they said Appalachia,
Oh, maybe. Maybe.
and it's really Appalachia. I
Maybe.
don't know.
So after keeping one eye on the forest for flush pedestrians, you might think you're safe from supernatural trouble on solid ground. But out here in Colorado, even the cemeteries have their own kind of darkness. Welcome to Lafayette, where locals have whispered about a vampire for decades. The story goes back to the 1950s when parents would warn their children to be home before dark, or else they'd fall prey to the vampire buried in Lafayette Cemetery. It's a classic cautionary tale, much like the Hispanic legend of La Llorona.
Did you see there was a movie out? Did you see the movie?
I didn't see the movie, but I've heard the story.
And keep going.
Used to enforce good behavior, but with fangs. The vampire in question was inspired by a real man, Theodore Glava, or Theodore. I don't know if I left out the H or if it's Theodore. A Romanian immigrant and coal miner who died in 1918. His grave, located in the Potter's Field section of the cemetery, even lists his birthplace as Transylvania. Yeah,
I like Transylvania.
the movie.
Hotel Transylvania.
Rory goes, I do not say blah, blah, blah.
Blah blah blah.
According to Claudia Lund, curator of the Lafayette Miners Museum, that part of the world has always had a certain history behind it, particularly the Dracula story and everything. And that cultural connection was enough to spark the imagination of generations of Lafayette kids. Over the years, the tale evolved. Stories borrowed elements from Bram Stoker's Dracula and Bela Lugosi's iconic film, turning Glava into a full-fledged vampire. By the 1990s, the legend had spread far beyond Lafayette. Thanks to the internet, and curious visitors began traveling from across the country to see his grave. As the legend is told today, locals suspected Glava of being more than human. After his death, they supposedly exhumed his body and drove a wooden stake through his heart. The stake is said to have grown into a towering juniper tree, now standing over his gravesite. Some versions even claim his fingernails sprouted into a blood red rose bush, covering the grave until the early 2000s. Though, in reality, the roses were yellow.
Hmm.
Blo-
Red, yellow, it's all the same.
Painting the roses red. Blog posts and local accounts dating back to the 1980s added even more chilling details, including sightings of a tall, dark figure with glowing red eyes wandering near the cemetery at night. Historical records from the Colorado State Archives paint a slightly different but still eerie picture. Theodore Glava was embalmed and buried just 2 days after dying, likely due to complications from the Spanish flu. He had no known relatives in Colorado. His grave sits next to another Romanian coal miner, John Trandafir, who passed away just 2 days later. Though they share a marker, the two men were unrelated. That's kind of shitty. Like, just because you're both Romanian, it doesn't mean like
Right.
you even liked each other.
Right.
Like, now they're connected forever in death.
Right.
One of the more colorful retellings comes from a 1993 article in the Rocky Mountain News. It described 19-year-old Douglas Rowan, a self proclaimed vampirologist.
Oh, I didn't know that was a
Oh,
thing.
vampirologist, probably. And folklore enthusiast who collected stories from longtime Lafayette residents. According to Rowan, Glava moved from Transylvania with his wife, but was allegedly bitten by a wolf or something else that transformed him into a vampire. Well, it must not have been a wolf because
Right. I
he
was
would have
just
been
going
a
to say.
werewolf, not a vampire.
Right.
In some versions, he killed his wife, and a neighbor finally cornered him in a barn and drove a stake through his heart. And of course, every good vampire story needs a touch of magic. The wooden stake allegedly sprouted into a tree, like before, keeping him trapped in the ground, though it is said that on full moon nights, his restless soul can wander the area once more. Even today, the gravesite continues to attract attention. In 2021, Yellow Scene magazine reported that visitors leave offerings ranging from fresh flowers to bubble gum. Oh, no, they're just sticking their gum on his grave, probably.
Right. Like he would chew bubble gum.
Yeah.
He's a fucking vampire or
Eh,
wolf
Maybe they're trying to get his
or something.
fangs to stick.
Maybe.
And even a plastic chicken. The grave is easy to find for those curious enough to look. The north central edge of Lafayette Cemetery near 111th and Baseline, just a few feet south of the City Park Road. You ever camp deep in the Colorado woods? The kind of dark where your flashlight feels useless and wonder what's out there just beyond sight? A lot of people swear they've seen something that isn't deer, elk, or bear, something much bigger, something that walks like a man but doesn't look like one. Colorado has been a hotbed of Bigfoot sightings.
Whoop, whoop. There's
With
our guy.
Mhm. With over 130 reports recorded in the Bigfoot Field Researchers Organization database. Yes, that's a real website. The reports aren't even scattered either. Park County leads the state with more than a dozen sightings, while Teller, Lake, Larimer, and Conejos counties also have long histories of encounters. The pattern is hard to ignore. remote mountain terrain, dense forests, gulches, and creeks at dusk or dawn. Perfect conditions for something that doesn't want to be found. One of the more recent encounters happened in June 2021 near Deer Lakes outside Lake City. A family camping there reported loud, deliberate wood knocks echoing through the trees at night. Knocks they swore couldn't have come from any animal they knew. Just a few years earlier, in 2018, a mother and daughter hiking the Kenosha Pass in Park County had a terrifying run in of their own. They heard strange noises and tossed a rock into the woods. Moments later, rocks came flying back at them. A foul smell filled the air, and they spotted a tall, shadowy figure watching from the tree line. Needless to say, they didn't stick around. And that's the thing about Bigfoot. They say that he has a foul smell.
Yes.
Like you notice it.
Yeah. Well, and don't fucking throw rocks at something you don't know.
Well, and
Like he fucking threw rocks back at you, and I hope you got hit. Like, don't throw rocks at things, because what if it's a fucking person or Bigfoot?
yeah. Well, that's another thing he's known for is throwing rocks, like big rocks. So, I don't know. That sounds pretty real to me.
I believe in Bigfoot.
Yeah, you don't in the
No.
flesh pedestrians?
Nope.
Is it they're too magical? They're too magical for you with the shape shifting?
I just don't think the shape shifting thing is a thing until I see it.
That's how I feel about ghosts.
I know. That's how I feel about skinwalkers.
Stop saying their name.
Okay, that's how I feel
You
about
gotta walk to your car, man.
I do. In your graveyard out front.
Yeah, it's true. I do have a graveyard out front.
The spiders.
Got my Halloween decor out.
But yeah, that's how I feel about them. Is how you feel about ghosts, but I believe in Bigfoot. He's not trying to shapeshift. He's a fucking creature.
Yeah, it's just
Creatures are
real.
everywhere, and
Yeah.
we're always discovering new creatures every day anyway.
So it's just because they're kind of magical with the shape shifting that makes you not believe.
Yes.
And that's my
But I
thing.
believe in magic.
Then what's your problem?
I just don't believe in that. I don't know. I just can't get behind it.
That's my thing with the ghosts.
Just can't get behind it.
We need to be more open-minded, okay?
Right. That's true.
Yeah.
That's true. I'm
That's
open.
true.
If I see something shapeshift in front of me, well, I believe. So
Maybe it'll be a Jacob Black.
So would he be considered a less pedestrian?
No, he's a shapeshifter. He's not some person who did some wonky, like evil, like
Thing.
to become powerful.
Okay.
This is tradition was passed
And he's
down.
a wolf.
He's only a
Werewolf.
No, he's
No,
not
but-
a werewolf.
No, but I'm saying, I'm not saying, no, I know he's not a werewolf, but like werewolves are still people who shape into wolves at full moons.
Yeah.
So, and realistically, I guess, I don't know if I can get behind that.
Jacob Black is a shapeshifter. He can shift at any time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But just saying.
Anywho, Larimer County has its stories too. In May 2019, a couple hiking near Estes Park's Storm Mountain described hearing an eerie, almost human-like crying coming from the woods. The wife tried to track the sound, but quickly became disoriented. Why would you track it? If I hear crying in the woods, I'm sorry, you're on your own. I ain't going out in there. She became disoriented in the trees. She managed to snap a few photos, grainy, indistinct, but strange, before retreating. Teller County's Pike National Forest has similar tales. In 2013, a couple near Skagway Reservoir reported seeing a massive, upright figure moving along the tree line. After it disappeared, they found unusually large footprints pressed into the soil. Even El Paso County, near Pikes Peak, and Fort Carson has reports, including a soldier who claimed he watched a 6 to 7 foot hairy figure through binoculars for nearly a minute. What gives some of these reports weight is the consistency of the details. Witnesses often describe the same things: overwhelming foul odors, large footprints, knocking sounds, distorted cries, or glowing eyes reflecting light.
So that's a new thing.
The reflecting light?
No, no, no.
Oh.
The distorted cries. You know what I mean?
I've
Like,
I've
I've
heard
not read a
about
story about them about Bigfoot's crying.
not crying, but I've heard about Bigfoot's like
Call?
call. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, me too, but not crying.
Yeah.
So that's a new thing.
Yeah. Maybe that's what they mean. Many reports come from multiple witnesses rather than just one person alone, making them harder to dismiss. And almost all come from the kinds of wild, secluded places where it's easy to believe something could be hiding. Of course, the evidence never quite seals the deal. No bodies, no DNA, no clear photographs that pass scientific scrutiny, just testimony, tracks, strange sounds, and unsettling smells. Photos are often blurry, and some sightings could be bears, shadows, or even tricks of the light. Yet, sheer number of stories spread across decades in geography keeps the legend alive. And I think nowadays, too, Bigfoot's such a thing that there's people trying to do hoax. Like, there's people walking around in weird places and costumes just to, like, make it seem like there's Bigfoot sightings.
Yeah. Nowadays. I think back
Yeah.
then it wasn't
Yeah,
so
no.
much a thing, but now
Now
people are
you
just
have
doing
to
anything to get clout.
yeah, and you gotta be really careful about what you believe as evidence now because so many
Mhm.
people are just trying to,
Replicate a fictional thing.
yeah. And really, it makes sense that Colorado would be home to Bigfoot lore. The state's mountains are vast, its forests dense, and its valleys dark and echoing. In places like Deer Lake, Silverton, Lake City, and Kenosha Pass, the wilderness itself seems to invite mysteries. Whether you believe in Bigfoot or not, it's hard not to feel a little uneasy when you're camping out there. The fire's burning low, and something crashes through the trees just out of sight. And here are a couple stories I found online from Reddit. So this was 3 years ago from Make Way for Fanny.
Ah,
My family and I saw Bigfoot in Eagle County, Colorado 2 days ago. I'm not going to post a huge story, but I almost hit what I believe to be Bigfoot in Eagle County, Colorado. My whole family saw it, and I reported it to police. Told them I felt crazy, and they told me I shouldn't feel crazy because of how many calls they get from that 5 mile stretch of road. Edit. Little more of the story I may post in story form later. So, to clarify, we were on I-70 headed east, almost to Denver. I had to swerve to miss it. My wife was on her phone looking for hotels. I yelled, "Did anyone see that?" My mom from the back seat yelled, "Did you see its legs?" That's when I panicked a little and thought to myself, "Holy shit, they saw it." My wife looked up in time to see it, but not really process it. She made out the outline and height. It was enough to scare her. I myself, the driver, saw it in all of its massiveness. I was slightly scared the rest of the night, an ongoing, uncomfortable feeling. I somewhat had the fear of, I just saw something that I've always thought of as a joke and is very secretive, maybe even hidden. Will anyone come after me? I mean, I saw it all. I will never travel without a dash cam again.
heck no.
I'd be driving back and forth that 5 mile stretch,
Oh, yeah,
man.
every night, every night.
Yeah. This is from 2 years ago, Career Horror 9983. Grandparent story from southwestern Colorado with coordinates of encounter. Encounter story. I'm not really a big believer in Bigfoot. I like to entertain the idea, but most of the time, I just can't bring myself to truly believe, no matter how much I want to. However, while discussing the topic with my grandparents half jokingly, they told me a story from a time they were hunting in Colorado in 1980, give or take a few years. Originally, they were joking around about the time they heard Bigfoot. However, as the story went on, I began to really wonder what it is that they heard out there and what could have really made that noise. I've confirmed with other family members that this story was told even years before I was born, so I know this wasn't made up on the spot to fool me. The encounter took place in the foothills of the San Juan Mountains of southern Colorado. My family has been traveling to those mountains literally for generations. My grandparents, father, and I love the San Juans dearly. I tell you this because my grandmother and grandfather have much experience hunting in the area. Basically, they know that region and the animals that live in it very well. The location that they had the encounter was not in the actual San Juans themselves, more in the western foothills. The location is surprisingly remote, even by southwestern Colorado standards. In fact, the nearest Google Earth Street View is 4 miles away as the crow flies. I located the general area where they had the encounter on Google Earth with the help of my grandfather, and the coordinates are as follows: approximately 37 degrees 58 by 18.98 north
Yeah.
and 108 degrees 3448.24 west. Present day, there is a farmstead about three-fourths of a mile away from the location. And according to my grandfather, there's also an old farmstead from long ago that is abandoned somewhere in that area. I believe that area is all private property today, and my grandparents haven't been up in that part of San Juan region for about 15 to 20 years. In the winter of 1980, Granddad's best guess was 1980 plus or minus 2 years. My grandparents were on a hunting trip in the aforementioned area. They would sleep in the truck camper to stay out of the cold. One night, while they were both in that period where you're not quite asleep but not awake, when they heard the sound of a heavy animal approaching their camper from the trees to the west. They could not remember if it sounded like it was bipedal or not. Maybe 50 feet from the camper, they heard it stop. By this point, they were both awake. Suddenly, they claimed to have heard either two or three whoop sounds. After the call, the creature continued on walking down towards the creek, away from the camper. My grandmother's first thought, as silly as it may sound, was that it was an axe murderer that was out there to get them. Whatever it was enough to scare them both, grandmother especially, half to death. I played the famous three whoops from the Sierra sounds, and they both said that it sounded almost exact to what they heard that night. This is where the story gets clouded. My grandfather claims that they heard the sound again a few nights later, this time while my uncle and aunt were with them. However, my grandmother does not remember this occurring. I also haven't spoken to said aunt and uncle in years, so I can't really ask them for verification on this part. I, a- I have asked them something along the lines of genuinely what else could have made this noise. And their best explanation was some sick animal, possibly an elk. I remember my grandmother claiming that it was an elk with bronchitis. Admittingly, Admittedly, my grandfather is a jokester. He's genuinely one of those Jesus. He's genuinely one of the funniest people I know. I probably would have written the story off as them just messing with me, but my grandmother crossed her heart and swore to God that they were telling the truth. To put that in perspective, they live in rural South Texas. Oh, Jesus.
Mhm.
They take their religion very seriously. Believe me, she would not lie after saying something like that. That's the Bible Belt right there.
That is.
So now I'm posting the story here. What do you all make of this? Are there any other sightings, encounters in this area? Would love to know. Thanks in advance. What do you think?
I think that I guess I could see both sides. I think that yeah, it could have been some sort of Bigfoot type creature. However, them saying that it could have been an elk
With
also
bronchitis?
no, but like elks make weird noises. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? So like I guess I could see that point of it too. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So I don't know, but
But for it to sound just like the recording
the recording.
of the supposed
Right.
Bigfoot elsewhere.
Right. Yeah, that part. That's why I say, yeah, it's believable. But then, the elk part is also believable.
And they didn't have any other of the like usual things that come with it, like the foul smell.
Right.
You
But they
know,
were also in the camper.
yeah, that's
So,
true. And it was like 50 feet
feet away.
away.
Yeah.
Maybe wind was going the other way.
Right. So it's hard to determine that. But yeah, I mean,
It's possible.
I could see that. I could see either one of those being an elk or Bigfoot. I'm not ruling it out. Like I said, I believe there is something out there that is a Bigfoot. So,
So whether you're out hunting cryptids in the forest, peering underground for Augerinos, tiptoeing past the haunted cemeteries of Lafayette, or chasing after Bigfoot with a tape measure like us, Colorado proves again that sometimes the legends are closer than you think.
yeah.
I
That's
know
good.
some of those were a little more like legendy than actual like cryptid sightings, but
It's still fun.
yeah, I like doing that kind of stuff.
So I just saw, I don't know, what I saw it on the TV and I can't remember what it is, but they're doing the La Llorona.
La Llorona, yeah.
I don't know if there was like news that came out about that, and that's what I was trying to look up, but I didn't see anything like posted on Facebook or anything. But I remember seeing that cued on a streaming site like
Okay.
Netflix or something. And I thought that and I saw it on Facebook and I thought there was news about it. And yeah, so I was gonna share that, but I can't find it now. And I almost screenshotted it and sent it to you the other day, and I forgot. So because I got into the black scroll of death.
Yeah. Well, that was
Yeah,
Colorado's cryptids. After aliens last week, 2 weeks of fun.
2 weeks of fun. Then we get into this not so fun
Yeah.
stuff, the really shitty stuff.
Yeah. There's one more true crime from Per
Mhm.
after this. And then is our Halloween special.
Yep.
Which should we tell them what we're doing or should we keep it surprise?
Keep it surprise.
All right.
So, like I said, we have a couple surprises coming up. We're doing a Halloween
thing
thing together, and then she's doing a Halloween thing with her husband. Both of them are going to be surprises because I will be in Vegas during her Halloween thing. But we will do the Halloween special, and yeah,
Do you get to do anything Halloween in Las Vegas?
I don't know. My main thing that I want to do, no matter what, is I want to zip line the strip. I don't care what we do about anything else. I want to zip line the strip. That's it. That's all I'm asking for.
Like up in the air, zip
Yeah.
line? And yet you're scared of
Heights, yeah. But I'll ride roller
Ferris
coasters and
wheels?
stuff. Yeah. It's weird because like I'm all, and then I get on the roller coaster and I'm like, and then it's over before you know it, and I have fun. It's just that suspense. So I think ziplining, I'm gonna freak the fuck out. Absolutely. But it's an experience.
I want to do it.
It's an experience.
Although I have been ziplining before.
See, I've never been
as a
ziplining
kid.
before.
Like we
Never.
did Five Pines and they have a zip line through the trees. I did that.
I've never been
But
ziplining, so I want to.
when you're a kid, you're fearless. Like,
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
We used to ride roller coaster or fair rides.
no.
But I've never been ziplining and I've always wanted to go. And I thought, why not? The best place for it would be the strip of Las Vegas.
Yeah.
So fuck it.
Yeah.
I hope I get to do it. I don't know what we have planned. I just know that we have that car show on that Saturday. Thursday, when we get into town, we're going to watch, I think it's David Copperfield.
Oh, that's kind of fun. That's
Yeah.
kind of a
So
little
we're doing that
spooky.
Thursday. But other than that, we don't necessarily have plans.
Plans. If you do, you should buy a GoPro so you can film yourself going down the strip. That would be cool.
I think Ezra's got one.
Yeah. See if you can borrow it because that would be really cool
Yeah.
footage.
Yeah. And then
You can relive it over and over again.
I know. think I think I have Mike convinced to go to that haunted mansion thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. But he's like, "Oh my God, all day." And I was like, "No, like we can just go to one part of it." I
Well,
said,
why does he get to do all his
and,
things?
and,
Okay.
and like,
It's our time. It's our spooky season, damn it.
I know. And I was like, it's, what am I trying to say? It is time slotted. So like you have to be there between 4 and 5. So the tour's probably only like an hour anyway.
Yeah.
And he's like, "Oh." I was like, "Yeah." So like you have to be there at a certain time. You have to book it and then you're there. So I would assume it's not an all day thing because you book your time slots.
Yeah.
And he's like, "Oh, okay." So I think I might have him convinced to do that.
Well,
So,
he needs to suck it up and let you do something you want to do.
yeah. So,
Yeah. Okay. Well, if you guys have any stories you want to share with us, any glitches in the Matrix, any
very fucking
Bigfoot sightings, grab your tape measure.
let us know.
You can send those stories into our email address, which is spinechillingchatspodcast@gmail.com. Or you can submit them on our website, www.spine-chillingchatspodcast.com. You can also click on a link to see our past episodes on Spotify. You can see pictures from our photo shoot last year during spooky season. We should have done another. No, we meant to do a summer one, and we never did.
We never did. Well, we still have time to do another one.
Yeah, we need to get a hold of Caitlin and set something up.
Yeah.
I
want to do the pumpkin heads. Yeah. Smoke.
How do you do the smoke without dying?
Well, yeah, I don't mean like coming out.
Like behind you?
Yeah, and like the pumpkin head, and then maybe hold the pumpkin head with the smoke coming out, like posing.
Yeah.
Okay. Anyway. Yeah. So we're going to do another one.
But those are on there. There's also a link to our merch store. Buy some merch.
We have so much.
We got some Bigfoot stuff on there. Buy it up.
Yep.
Bigfoot. He's kind of a big thing.
He's a big deal. See what we did there?
Yeah. You can follow us on Facebook, TikTok, Instagram. If you're listening to us on one of the many, many podcast platforms, you can also watch us in video form on YouTube and see our smiling faces.
Beautiful, natural faces for the last 2 episodes.
That's because we recorded on the same night.
Yeah, and we were too lazy today to put on makeup and do our hair.
Yeah, so this is what you get.
Yeah. So yeah,
please like, subscribe, share.
Send us some stories.
Please comment. Please participate.
This is another episode you can share with your grandmama.
Yeah.
Or your nieces and nephews.
Yeah. Hi, kids. Connor again. Connor. For those of you who don't know, Connor is my most loyal listener, my nephew. Mm-hmm. And I love him dearly.
And I have some loyal listeners too. Lisa, thanks for listening. And my cousin Monica, thanks for listening. And her wife. But yeah, like,
we appreciate you.
Right.
So if you're a listener and you listen every week, send us a comment so we can give you a shout out.
Yeah.
We love to know who's actually listening to us.
We do. Sarah.
Yeah, Sarah.
Sarah listens. Mm-hmm. We love Sarah. So,
yeah. Heather from way back. I don't know if she still listens. I haven't heard or seen a comment from her in a while. So I don't know
Yeah.
if she still does.
I hope
But
you do, Heather.
yeah, we hope you're still with us. So we remember you. We hope you're still here with us. But let us know. Comment. Send us an email.
Sorry, I didn't say Monica's wife, Ashley. I didn't say her name. I'm sorry. So I'm giving shout out to people's names. I should have said her name. I apologize for that. But yeah.
No, just the wife.
And her wife. But yeah, like, let us know that you're listening.
Yeah, we want to get to know you.
Yeah, we'll give you shout outs every week. Somebody will give shout outs to whoever comments and listens and whatever. And my cousin Monica, the one that listens to this, she does, and maybe we should go because I've never gone, but I've always invited. She does a murder mystery for her birthday.
Oh, that's fun.
I know. So I got to get on there and see when it is. It's coming up. And yeah, it's a lot of fun. I've never gone because I've always had something to do, but like, I want to go and you should come with.
Yeah. Let's make it happen if she'll invite us.
Well, she invited me and I could bring somebody.
Oh, okay.
She invites me every year.
I'm a +1.
Yeah. So on a different note, though, I am taking Ange to a salt cave for the first time.
For my birthday.
So we'll talk about that when it happens. We're going to go to the salt cave and we're going to go to lunch. We're going hacienda.
Okay.
Have some margs.
Some chips and ranch.
Chips and salsa and ranch and some margaritas. After the salt cave, we'll be nice and relaxed and full of essential oils stuff. So
it's good that we're going to the cave first and not after I'm full of beans and we're in a closed area.
Not only that, like you don't really sweat, but like the toxins come out of you, and so it's fun. It's fun. We're going with my sister and my 2 cousins, and I was like, I'm bringing my best friend. She's never gone. It's her birthday, and I want to bring her because I think she'll enjoy it, and she's got family drama like we do, so she's perfect. And they were like, okay, cool.
I know half your family drama.
I know.
I'll fit right in.
Exactly. That's what I told them. I said, she's cool. She has family drama just like us.
Yeah.
So, yeah, we're going to Salt Cave. So we'll talk about that too. We're not going until October 11th. So we'll talk about that the episode after the 11th. So we have a lot of stuff coming up, guys. Lots of fun stuff.
Yeah.
Can't tell you the other stuff, but the birthday stuff is fun stuff too.
Yeah.
So is the other Halloween.
This is our time. This is our season. So stay with us and we hope we'll get spooky together.
Yeah. So on that note,
we hope you enjoyed this. We hope you come back. And most of all, we hope you keep it spooky. Bye, guys.
Bye.